Hello there, and welcome to my weekly energy reading for the week beginning 1st of February 2021. If you don't know who I am, my name's Karen Turpin from karenturpin.com, and I'm a spiritual coach specializing in Starseed and Lightworker empowerment and activation. And every week I do one of these readings. I tune in to the planetary energies so that I kind of get a global perspective of the energy that's coming through for us this week. That is sure to filter down and affect us in our lives in some way. So I'm using the Voyager Tarot cards at the moment. If you watch my videos recently, you'll know that I've said I used to use them years and years ago, put them away, and have recently pulled them out again, and I'm in love with them all over again. I don't know why I ever put them away, but hey, there you go. That's the back of the cards. So lovely. So the first card that I pulled this week made me laugh, actually. It's called Fortune. Beautiful picture there of all gold and silver and jewels and all of the wealth and abundance and prosperity of the world. And that card actually represents the law of prosperity. And in actual fact, we prosper by the opportunities that come our way. One of the tricks, really, that many businessmen have is that they have the ability to see an opportunity when it comes along and they act on it. They don't sit back and double guess and, wait. Well, when I say businessmen, I mean, and women, of course, but successful business men and women. They see the opportunities and they act on them. They don't procrastinate. There's a kind of flow in their action as to how they handle all that. But I did smile to myself when I pulled this card because if you've watched anything on the news in the last few days, you'll know that there's been a big furore in the financial markets and with the stock exchange and things over all this business to do with GameStop. Now, I don't follow financial markets that much, but I heard enough of what was going on and what's about to reveal that when I pulled this fortune card, I couldn't help but smile to myself and say how spot on it is, because what this card is really telling us is to seize the opportunity, and also that we are in a constant flow of wealth and wealth creation, and how it kind of moves in and out and it recycles. And I work with a lot of people with money mindset issues or abundance blocks, and so, one of the things that we discuss is that we are the source of our abundance. And so we kind of play with affirmations like, money flows to me easily, I am the source of my abundance. Those two I find really, really powerful for myself when I use them, and I do use them quite a lot. I must say I really like those. And so what I feel this card is bringing to us is the reminder, really, to open our mind, be expansive in our mind, open our heart and be open-hearted, and just really embrace the wealth, the prosperity that is in this universe. Now, it's interesting also that there's a shadow side to this too that I'd like to mention. And the shadow side of prosperity consciousness is poverty consciousness. Sorry, I had to get my words right then. Poverty consciousness, and how some of us, hold on so tightly to what we've got that we kind of almost strangle it to death. So I think it's worth bringing that up as well. But also the other interesting part is that the shadow of this card is that instead of being open to the flow of wealth and abundance in the universe, is that we get absolutely driven by the acquisition of wealth. So we become money driven, we lie and we cheat and we steal, and we scam people in order to get money coming to us. It's a very dark side of money, and I personally believe that it's all about to be brought out into the light and revealed. So if you research anything to do with the banking system, the financial markets, and how it's played and manipulated, and things like that, who owns the money, and how the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and all the manipulation behind that. There's an awful lot of reading there to do. I'm not the teacher of that because I don't have it comprehensively enough to explain it, but it's all there if you would like to go and research it for yourself. But I do see, in fact, that all of that dark, shadowy stuff is literally the shadow side of this fortune card. So I feel personally that we are in the time now where all of that will be brought out into the public arena, into the light to see it, because we are in the age of light. And so there will be some changes happening there. And so, not surprisingly, then, that I pulled the moon card next, because the moon is all about cycles of the moon, and what is hidden in the subconscious, and in the dark, hidden in the subconscious. But really, the moon represents cycles. And so we know that sometimes we have to have endings, always have to have endings before we can have beginnings. And so what I feel we're potentially looking at here is an end to the way that the planet has been operating for eons of time. We could then refer that back to money, being as that prosperity card came first. So we could say then that we're looking at the end of a system, the end of a cycle of how the financial markets and banking systems have been operating and working. And we need to almost see that crash in order that we can build a new cycle again. When you think about COVID and how it's affected the economy so badly, the economy of the normal people, not the economy of the billionaires who have become even more rich off of the back of everybody else's suffering. So we'll look at that as a cycle. If we see how that system works, we would know that it has to come to an end in order to recreate anew. Now, the moon card shows us again, or brings up the subconscious, what is in the darkness, what is hidden, what we're not aware of, and needs to bring that into the light in order to see it. Now, the shadow side of the moon card can be that we go into a lot of emotional turbulence, instability, as those old systems and structures break down. That's quite normal when we're going through a transition period. And so I feel that that moon card is encouraging us to try to hold stable, not to swing erratically from, being kind of overexcited and then swing down into a deep depression, and, do that kind of bipolar type of light and dark kind of behavior. So it's interesting as well that the overall theme that I saw for this year, that I did in the first week of January, was to have the eagle eye view, that higher vision of what's really going on here. And I think that that would be really useful in these turbulent times of endings and new beginnings, and all of that. So it will hold us much more emotionally stable if we can view it from the higher perspective. Now, again, I smiled to myself when I pulled this third card, which is seer, because if you were watching last week, you would have seen that seer was in the first position last week, and now it's in the third position. And so what that often shows is that whatever it was that was the lesson or the challenge of the card that was in the first position has kind of moved through the cycle. It's moved a few steps. And so that card, seer, is all about the wise sage within us, the truth seeker, the truth speaker, the light worker, the healer, the teacher, that kind of mystical part within us. That's all to do with our inner power, our inner strength, and our belief systems in and particularly connected to a higher power or higher vision. So I can see how that combines with the previous two cards. So this card also may be showing you how you've moved through a challenge this week. Was there something going on in your life that, a week ago was very, very challenging, maybe unsettling for you? And through this week, you've moved through that process, feeling maybe much more empowered within, or some experience or challenge that you've been through is much more integrated within you this week, and you feel much more stable about it, much more grounded, have a better understanding of it, and also perhaps having received some insight and inner guidance. In this card also is the owl down there in the corner. And so the owl is always showing us about this inner wisdom, the vision and the wisdom, and the ability again to kind of use that mystical inner knowing to see your way through situations in life. So I love these three cards, how they come together: the wealth, the prosperity, consciousness, and the law of give and receive, because sometimes you have to let go of something in order to receive something back. And very often when you do, what you receive back is even bigger and greater than you could ever have imagined. And so that is a cycle that we're moving into, letting go of old structures and getting something bigger and better and more exciting back, as the unconscious is uncovered and brought up into the light. And I feel that the overall message of this is that we must trust this process. We must connect with our inner knowing and really connect with source light, to get the overall movement of energy that shows us that we're moving from a dark period in many aspects, into a light period, or the age of light that I keep harping on about. And so some of the things that you might ask yourself in your journaling or your meditation or your dreams as you go to bed at night, you may be asking, how can I rise above this illusion? How can I walk the high road and see the overall vision of what this all means for me and for the planet, if you'd like to? What does it mean globally for all of us as humanity going through this cycle of evolution? And how can I hold or find some stability within myself so that I'm kind of not pushed from pillar to post every time the media comes out with something new that they want to push us into fear over? How can we hold stable through that? I feel personally that the only way to do that is our connection with spirit, and to rise above it all. All of this is an illusion. Anyway, excuse me. All of this is an illusion anyway. And when we rise above it and hold the vision from that higher perspective, we see exactly that this is all a game. So hardly surprising that the whole of this started with this financial collapse potential with GameStop. Maybe this is where we need to stop the game. Very interesting. So I'm very sorry that my throat has gone all foggy at the moment. If you would like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram and on Facebook. I'm Karen Turpin, spiritual coach, and you can join me in my Facebook group, which of course is called Source Light Connection, and find my website, karenturpin.com. I do hope we'll connect again soon, and if not, look out for me next week with next week's reading. Have a great week. Bye for now.